Oh boy. You know, despite the 2000s and the children's cartoons, there were some cartoons that you might think, huh, this could be adult animation, or this could just be a child's cartoon mixture with adult animation. You know, uh, like the show that you're seeing right now. The show that I'm gonna talk about is Committed. This is one example of a cartoon that has been forgotten. Uh, this is a very interesting cartoon considering that it was here for I think about one season, and I watched the whole thing, and it seems pretty complicated. So let's get to a fast review of Committed. Here we go. So yeah, let's get started. What is Committed? Committed is a Canadian animated sitcom based on the comic strip of the same name by Michael Fye, produced by Nella Vanna and Philip Pine Animators Group. The series aired on CTV from March 3rd to June 8, 2001, and was broadcast by WE Women's Entertainment in the United States. Interesting. Now, from what I've read in Wikipedia, actually, forget the Wikipedia part, this show is boring. How can I say it? It's an okay show. I'll give it that. But it's one of those adult cartoons. Yes, this is an adult cartoon. It's one of those adult cartoon sitcoms that have the stupid dad routine and the control freak mother, and the stupid children, and the child that is oddly and never existed in the first place type scenario. It almost comes down as boring, bland. There really isn't nothing to really talk about in this show, except that it's just okay. It's boring. It's okay. The humor just seems almost dry. It seems like it almost tries to be funny at times. From what I learned, that this show was actually a comic, a comic strip that started as a comic strip, and from what I see, but we won't talk about that in a minute. The show had a very short one, which wasn't good comparing to other shows like Family Guy and stuff like that. And because Family Guy and The Simpsons does a better job at it, well, after season 6 or season 9, it almost became this overrated plot to make every cartoon show, every adult animated show had the dumb father and the over-controlling freak mother. Now, I don't see anything wrong with this plot. There's a big difference between doing it right and doing it wrong. Bob's Burgers does it right because Bob and Linda has great characteristics. In this show, these two, I don't want to call them by their names because they both suck as parents. They don't have feeling or character. They don't really... I just don't see them as a married couple. These guys don't look like a married couple. These guys are horrible at it. And, it's okay. The problem is that they don't try as parents. They don't try at all. Now, let's get back to the conversation I was having about this being a comic strip. So, the comic strip went by the same name, Committed. And, the characters in the comics seemed a little bit more odd. Now that I think about it, I've heard of that name, Michael Frey. Oh, he made the Odd Squad. No wonder why the style looked a little familiar. I recognize that style because I saw that book in my library at one point. But, yeah, back to the show. Let's compare the show to the comic. Okay, in the comic, the characters seem to have a little bit more of life. They're not boring and they're not plain characters. Now, here's something weird about it. Okay, the show had Joe and Liz, the two parents, and the two daughters, Tracy and Zelda. But in this show, it added a new character named Nicholas. Now, I don't know how this baby got onto the show. Maybe the kid was like, popped out when the comics ended and they went in the TV show, like behind the screen. But I don't know. It just doesn't. It just doesn't seem like it fit. The baby didn't fit in the show. It just seemed a little weird and out of place to put the child in the show in itself. Now, I'm going to talk about the humor. The humor is okay. The humor has its points, but there are some parts that actually make me laugh, like this particular scene.
Liz, honey, I hope you're out there. We wanted to put this commercial on the Women's Life channel, but some big woman with extremely short hair wouldn't let us in the building.
Wow, that aged well. Now, what would I rate this show? Specifically committed. Well, let's see. As I said, I think that the show would have done better if the characters had more feeling. And if, the two parents weren't horrible at their, at their job, at their parenting job, because, a lot of the kids in the show need focus, and sometimes they're not even focusing on them. It just seems like that type of show that the parents ignore the children and the children have to solve it themselves all the damn time. But I've seen too many videos shitting on the show and saying that the show was not good, so I'm gonna lay it off the ground. Again, it's not good. It's not great, and it's definitely not bad. There are parts that do make me laugh, and there are episodes that I actually do enjoy. But out of all, there's just so much, and the animation, it's almost okay, but it's not identical to the original comic style. Because in the original comic style, they have more of a cartoonish vibe. In this one, it just seems like the cartoonish vibe isn't there because it is 2000s animation. 2000s animation are a little different. Now, I would strongly give this a 4 out of 10. The show would be a 4 out of 10 in my opinion. It's definitely an okay show. Overall, I think the show is okay. It's not what I would watch, all the time, but it's definitely something I would watch only one, or like 3, or maybe once a time for a couple of weeks. If like there's nothing else to watch, then I'll watch this. So, yeah, thank you for watching, and please leave a like to this video, comment what you think about the show, and I hope you all have a good day. Alright.